It's week 7, the last week of reading and the last lesson for which you have to write an essay, except for the final exam, which is an essay exam. Week 7, Milton's Paradise Lost. For a lot of people, the concepts of the Garden of Eden, the fall of mankind, the eating of the forbidden fruit, often thought of as the apple, Eve and the serpent, and all that are really not derived from biblical sources at all, but are in fact derived ultimately from the fertile and vivid imagination of John Milton. Paradise Lost, even by people who haven't read the work, or even for those people, Paradise Lost is not acknowledged, but often it is the real source of our imagery of satanic evil and so on. The images of hell that people have are generally influenced either by Dante's Inferno in the first part of the Divine Comedy, and maybe by illustrations of that, or they're influenced by John Milton. Book 1 of Paradise Lost is set in hell, just after the rebellious angels in heaven have been cast out of heaven forever and are cast into the abyss of hell. So Milton has had a big influence on English and American. You can't either, if that's what you've got. I have a substance abuse problem. Well, it is a disease. It's a real problem. No question about that. But there is some freedom of choice involved in how you handle that and how you deal with that terrible burden. We tend to blame our genetics. I was genetically predisposed to be this way. I'm genetically predisposed to be melancholy, or I'm genetically predisposed to be sanguine, and I'm always up and out there, and if people take offense because I've been too aggressive, well, that's their problem. It's just my nature. You see what this is. It's a way of shifting the blame and not taking responsibility. In previous decades, or earlier, maybe in the 20th century, people blamed their birth, their parents, their childhood. Freudian psychology went a long way toward persuading people they didn't have to take responsibility for themselves, because it was the fact that they were mistreated by their parents, or they were neglected by their parents, right? If your father neglects you, then you feel like, well, it's his problem. I should have been raised better. They should have raised me right. If I'd been raised right by my parents, I would have done a better job. All right, blame shifting. If you're tricked, right? You didn't deliberately do it. Somebody misrepresented things, and you fell into a trap. That seems to be the way Milton thinks Eve fell. But on the other hand, there's Adam, who supposedly, the intellectual superior, who supposedly knows better, who, when he finds Eve having already eaten the fruit, she tells